live. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Watch Your Mouth Reviews. This is your boy James, where I am here to give my honest review while trying to watch my mouth. And it's not going to happen in this video, but that's okay. We'll live to fight another day. Joining me as always is my co-host, Mrs. Best. Y'all say what's up to her.
Hello, humans. Happy Monday. I know y'all. We gonna make it.
Yeah, we going to make it, y'all. We going to make it, y'all.
Like
And
the
while we're
video.
Yes, like the video. Make sure you subscribe to Mrs. Best channel. Her information is in my description box as well as right here in the comments. Any reviews or recaps that I don't cover on my channel, it's because we cover on Mrs. Best channels. Currently, we have Basketball Wives, which that has returned to us, and we read everybody for filth like we always do. And then also we have The Valley, which I just got into, and so far I'm picking up on it. It's taken me a minute, but I think I almost got it, y'all. It's a good show. It really is. So shout out to Mrs. Best for having me join in with her, but make sure you subscribe to her channel if you don't want to miss those kind of videos. And while we're here, we're also going to send homage to Shana. Please subscribe to both her channels, her current and backup channel, because she uploads to both of them. Shana is currently doing Real Housewives of Atlanta, just like me, and also she's doing Never Ever Mess, just like Mrs. Best. So make sure
And
you guys
basketball wives now.
and Basketball Wives. She did pick up
Yeah.
Basketball Wives. I just saw that too. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, so y'all subscribe to Shana. Send her love. Tell her I sent you. She does good on her content. We hoping Shana rides out YouTube with us for the long haul. We hope she stays here, y'all. We don't want Shana to go anywhere, so do us that solid. Make sure you subscribe to her channel. Tell her we sent you all in love, and make sure we help her get her channels remonetized so Shana ain't got to go no place because we love Shana here on YouTube and in real life too, because that is my friend. So we love her all together. So with that being said, we got to talk about Love and Marriage Detroit Reunion Part 2, which they could have kept. I ain't gonna lie to you. They could have kept this. This was all over the place. This didn't make any sense. And I was annoyed with just about everybody. With maybe the exception of Chelsea. I wasn't annoyed with her. I just thought she gave in too quickly. I wouldn't have. So we open this up, y'all, with where we left off was with Christina and Colby. Christina did not congratulate Colby on the new baby, and Christina's message is that she did not know that Colby had the baby. And everyone's saying that whether you knew or not, it was just sending a text message saying, "Hey, did you have the baby yet? I know it's around your due date, and if not, congratulations. We hope you have a safe delivery," or what have you. Me and Mrs. Best both was kind of on the like, if we not speaking and not on good terms, why should I reach out and say congratulations on a baby that I don't know if it's here or not? So I'm I wasn't on that train with everybody else saying that Christina should have sent Kobe congratulations, because if they're not speaking, why should I? And as I said, I blame the brunt of this on Kobe than I do Christina. And it's so crazy because last season I was more on Kobe's side than I was Christina. But when you really look at it, Kobe has a very hard disposition. So Christina is still vetting her case. She goes, "Look, I did not know. We are not in a great space. I have given up with trying with Kobe because it just seems like she gives me her cold shoulder." And it's like, how many more times do I need to, as her friend, continue to get that shoulder before I just say the hell with it? So that's where Kobe was saying, Christina was saying, and Kobe was like, "You see, she doesn't care. She doesn't care." And it's like, Kobe, she does care. It's just you are giving her a hard time. So when she gives up because she feels like there's no other choice in this matter. So Carlos says we have to go to break, but he wants Colby and Christina to talk it out. So the cameras pan on them, and she says it, and Christina says it was never my intentions to hurt you or to feel like I was not there for you. And this is Colby. Stank face can care less. And she said, "Christina, you know I'm going through it. You know that, I had a hard pregnancy. And on top of that, I have my own issues, with my father. You had to understand something. My stepfather, when he married my mother, he took me in as one of his own. And I had a hard time dealing with that. And then I have to deal with the fact that, my father and I are not even close. And he could care less about my life. I just have so much going on, Christina." And the fact that you were sitting here and you're not being there for me, it just really hurt because I thought we were better than that. And Christina was like, well, Kobe, I didn't know you were going through all of that. And you didn't let me in. So I apologize for what you're going through. And I apologize that I was not there and not knowing that you were going through this and how hurt you truly were. Like, I'm sorry my absence really did hurt you. And I'm looking like, y'all forgive me. I'm gonna get on my mic real quick. Y'all forgive me. But I'm trying to figure out what the fuck you not having a relationship with your father and you being hurt and happy at the same time about your stepdad taking you in got to do with your relationship with Christina and the fact that you were extremely cold to her on this show. What that got to do with it, Colby? Because that was a cop out. If I ain't never seen a cop out before in my life, that was a cop out. And if I was Christina, I would have been like, fuck you, good night, and went right back to my seat. Because there's no way you finna lay some bullshit on me like that and then expect me to apologize when I've done nothing to you but try to move forward with you. The hell with Kobe, y'all. That pissed me off. So, Mrs. Best, with that being said, how did you feel about Christina and Kobe?
Kobe's full of shit because how can you break down and want somebody to care when you led the charge and the entire time that they discussed their relationship, Kobe started it with, I don't care. When I'm done, I'm done. I don't care. So if you don't care, why are you crying now? What I think happened is I feel like Colby is doing to Christina what she doesn't like that Christina does with Chelsea. She is expecting for. I feel like Colby's taking her anger on Chelsea out on Christina because Christina hasn't done nothing to that girl. Like even their original beef was nothing that was that deep. I also think Colby has a problem admitting when she is wrong. She came with an official term to explain her complaining about her just saying it's gender disappointment is real. Girl, you weren't just complaining about the gender of the baby. You was complaining about the father of your child, having to have a child, the pregnancy. It went way beyond that. So I feel like Colby came into this reunion wanting to make herself look better, but I think she's mad at the wrong people. I also think some of her getting emotional while talking to Christina was because she was realizing, like, damn, I was wrong. I don't think Colby's a bad person, so I do think she may feel a way about behaving in ways that are not okay. But I also feel like Colby is easily influenced, like, not just by Christina, because when she was friends with Christina, she was moving the way Christina moved, and a whole big thing of her storyline last season prior to their split Kobe was always kind of up Christina's ass. Now it seems like she's up Dr. Latoya's ass, in my opinion. So I'm kind of looking at Kobe as like a homie hopper in like a different context. So I don't think I feel like she let Dr. Latoya get into her head, and that's why she treated Christina so bad this season. Because it's like she has no argument. Every scene that Colby was in with the women, she spoke horribly about Christina, laughed at her marriage, mocked what she was doing, like spoke horribly about her. And then the other piece of it is she kind of treats her friends like you would expect your nigga to behave. Like if it's my dude, then I'ma need you to like apologize to me 1,000 times over if you cause me pain, right? Because we dating. But if it's my friends, it should be a conversation. We nip it in the bud, figure it out, and move on. Colby had Christina apologizing left and right. She invited you on an event. She threw a baby moon. And like Christina said, she never spoke ill on Colby, and that girl just kept speaking ill on her. So I feel like she kind of is treating the girlfriends the way she should treat her husband. And maybe if she put more energy and time into her husband and them two kids she got, then she wouldn't be so pressed about Christina. But I know that was a mouthful, but that's all.
I feel like, no, that was perfect because I think that that's what the public is not seeing when we look at Kobe versus Christina. We're not looking at it from the vendetta that Kobe is really making it hard for Christina based on Christina's, you know, perception around the group. I think that we're looking at it as like a, oh, well, I know the viewers will be on my side because Christina has her reputation of being difficult. And then I have Kimberly Doine and then Dr. Minnie Mouse over there to co-sign that. Versus Christina that saying, hey, look, I'm trying to be on a better foot, but I'm going through a divorce. I have these kids. I have, we're not looking at all of Christina as like that could be a block into her being there for Kobe, her being there for Dr. Minnie Mouse, her being there for Kim Doine, her being there for Lakeitha. It's like kind of like we're not looking at her life, we're looking at her actions. And I feel like sometimes you gotta have to put that aside. I get we're supposed to judge a person by their actions, but at the same time, life be life. So I don't understand why we can have all of these allowances when all the rest of you have things going on too. It's so weird.
Because they set themselves on this show. And I truly think they've talked themselves into it. I think they really believe that Brandon and Christina are playing on the drama, or they're forced to make it look like they believe this publicly. Christina kept saying it through the reunion too, to every person that had an issue with her. You're not looking at my side or my perspective at all. It's all on you. So I her saying that to everybody and not one person on the stage at any point being willing to look at her point of view or her perspective, she has a point. Again, I want Christina and Brandon to leave the show so that they can see that the show will flop if they leave, one. But two, it'll force the rest of these couples that are hiding behind their public issues to prevent themselves from having to speak on their issues, which I think are far worse. Like I think Dr. Latoya and Anthony have secrets in their relationship that are 10 times worse than anything Brandon or Christina could have done that we know publicly or privately. Like they give that energy. And the Dobines, I think they crooks. They look like it. So I feel like they all hide behind their drama to keep
Wait,
protect
I was
about
not ready.
themselves.
Wait, I was not ready for that. Wait, hold the phone real quick.
They
I
do.
was not ready for that. I was not ready for that, y'all. Not them being crooks. Well, allegedly, we gotta say allegedly on this channel.
I
But
think it was my
damn.
husband that said about Bravo too. He heard us talking. I think my husband said something. He was like, "Oh man, so basically he's a broke ass ghost from Power." I said, "Stop it, stop it." If you watch Power Ghost, he owned a nightclub, was cheating on his wife,
Mm-hmm.
left it. I said, "Oh, why you call him a broke ghost?"
I mean, that kind of fits the mold just a little bit because I do think because we had a commenter on my comments last week saying that they agree that it's something with Lakeitha and why she wants to have this location other than this trauma that she's trying to impose on us. Not to say, and once again, I'm not saying that she's not valid in how she feels with the loss
That
of her
girl
father.
ain't listen, science as it relates to psychology. Ain't no way in hell you processing trauma from when you was 3 in the form of a technology that did not exist when you were born. She could go somewhere with that. She could go somewhere because what would she do if she had the same childhood trauma she had, but it was 1996 right now instead of 2025? How you gonna track them then, girl? What you gonna be in the Buick, following him everywhere he go at night?
What she need to do anyway, which I would be doing if I really had that big of an insecurity. Because that's really what that is. I don't care what nobody say. That's really what that is.
Mm-hmm.
I will be right in my car, driving up to all the locations. You better be where you say he at. Because especially if I know that's like an issue, because as again, that can't be the real reason. I'm sorry. There's no way I'm believing that. Like that sounds crazy to me. Because then it puts me in a perspective, then why would you marry somebody in that field? Why
It's
would you do
also
it?
to me like an insult, and it could be because I'm dealing with some recent deaths that are close in my family. Haven't had too many close deaths, but it's an insult to people who grieve. Now that I like understand it thoroughly, always had empathy, but when you're actively grieving someone you care for, right? For her to say and blame what's clear to be trust issues on that, maybe some of it could be true. I'll give her some credit, but if anything, you would have abandonment issues, not be tracking phones and begging for locations and all of that and desperation. It seems like she could not wait for these cameras to come around to ask, because I feel like she knows if the cameras weren't here, she wouldn't have got that location.
Very true, very true. Absolutely. So we then have a segue into the Dobines. I'm gonna bring up Chelsea at the end, y'all. I know Chelsea happened next, but I'm gonna bring up Chelsea later. because it ties into what I want to talk about when it comes to the Thompsons. But we have the introduction of the Dobbines, and Carlos said that they were a great fit for the show and that Kim brought her A game. And then we had flashbacks of her, the commercials, her bringing that trash into people's establishments and throwing it on the floor. You saw Carlos over there laughing like that shit was funny. And I was insulted once again because how dare you come into somebody's establishment throwing foil and saran wrap and shit through their damn restaurant. The hell wrong with you? But
Carlos laughed because in his mind, he's getting like the moments that he got when he worked on Housewives. Carlos wants so badly for his shows to be just like Housewives, in my opinion, and that moment was shameful and embarrassing.
absolutely. Like it was very like I looked at Carlos and I was like, wow, sir. Wow, 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 wow. Like you really couldn't be any more uncouth doing that because that was a damn shame that that lady brought all that shit to that restaurant and throw it on the floor. And I hope your production team cleaned that shit up. I do. I pray that they did, like when she did that, because that was very tacky. But she brings up the story, and Carlos asks her the question: was their beef really because of an Android phone? And she said no, it had nothing to do with that. It had everything to do with the fact that the comment that was brought to me, which was it was low, like other than she said low class for her to have an Android phone, and Christina acts like she knows nothing about it, which she doesn't. And I'm like, Kim, let me explain something to you. That is stupid. And I'm sorry, y'all. For those that love Kim Dobbine, fine. But that is stupid once again. Because you can try to maneuver your way through the issue all you want to. And you could try to say it wasn't about the phone comment, it was about the low class comment. Fine, if that's what you really want to do. But it is, at the end of the day, someone teasing you about having an Android versus an iPhone. Which, if you try to blame Christina for that friend, which we now know, thanks to the reunion, that it was a mutual friend between the two of them. Because she said it out her mouth. It was a mutual friend between the two of them. So if it was a mutual friend, why the fuck are you mad at Christina?
Because her friend who referred her to the show told her that this bitch is probably causing a problem for her husband and to bring it up. The fact that Latoya even referred Kim and her husband to the show, knowing that they had a problem with Christina, was petty, and it makes me think that she was asked to do certain things in favor of being put on TV. The other thing I'd like to add, James, is there's nothing wrong with having an Android phone. I have an Apple iPhone, however, but I don't think there's nothing wrong with having an Android phone. Hell, how the Google Pixel does more than the iPhone, the regular Android, all of that can do. So I don't see the big deal. I think people should shop and have a phone that they like, that's easy for them to use, and that they can afford. Also, fun fact, Android and iPhones these days are about the same amount, especially if you're looking at a Samsung or something. So it's just weird. My thing is, how broke are you in real life, Kim Dobine, that a comment like that would even bother you? Because some of the richest people out there, especially here in California, you see billionaires, executives, all of that walking around. A lot of them will have both types of phones, or a lot of them will prefer to have an Android phone. So it was just an ignorant comment and something that somebody who is in a lower tax tier would say because they don't have the bandwidth to understand that no matter how much money people have, they could have whatever fucking phone they choose. So I think that supports James's statement from weeks ago when he was saying that their car probably really couldn't start or something, or it was broke down. I'm telling you, I think they broke. I
No,
just
I
do.
feel like no, I said, I feel like the Cadillac Escalade they pulled up in was hers, and I feel like he got a 1999 Cadillac. What is that?
He probably got a Saturn Ion with
Something
rims.
he got something that got electrical problems, and I tell you in the Detroit area, she can blame that shit all she wants to. He just gives me that type. Like I know the ones that have DeVille. That's what I'm thinking about. He got a Cadillac DeVille, not a big old long one. I'm telling you,
I want to know why he's the only man on the show we didn't get to see work. We've seen everybody on this show work, from Brandon's raggedy ass to Christina's dingy ass, even to Kobe's dumb ass, recording stuff. We seen Russell try to pastor. He's always at that gym. But we have not seen shit that the Dobbins do.
We saw Kimberly at her office once.
It's like seeing Letitia Bell Collective at her office. The fuck? Anybody can lease an office.
Enterprise.
But I thought that's weird. Like we see Bravo in his clubs, Brandon in the factory. We've even seen Anthony do things. And I don't even like Anthony, but we ain't seen what is his name? The boy,
Marcel.
the Dobine. That's his name, Martell?
Marcel.
Oh, Marcel. I was like, oh hell, Martell. She better watch him. But yeah, I don't know. I just we didn't see anything from him.
I just don't feel like they were a good fit for the show. I don't know what Carlos was looking at when it came to them, but they were not a good fit for this show. I feel like they don't have the essence of reality TV for me. They give me people looking for a check, and by all means trying to get it.
I think I have a similar salary to them. And nothing is wrong with that.
Me too, but I'm not going to say it.
Nothing is wrong with that. However, I think they're trying to look like they have more than they really do. And I think that's the part about them that's off putting. Because Kim's personality is a lot, which is good for TV. But her husband seemed like he's shady or got a problem with a hoe on the track somewhere. And Kim seemed like she just operates her business and acts like she don't see nothing he doing or the money gets funneled through it, allegedly. That's just what they give. But I don't need them to come back. They'll be back, but I don't need them back.
I don't need them back either. I feel like we have way too many other people in Detroit that I feel like could fit the mold better. But, different shows for different folks. Let's move on, y'all. So, the next thing we talk about is Chelsea. So Chelsea comes on stage and she addresses everybody and they begin talking to her about her start on the show and her beef with Anthony. And what we understand is that her beef with Anthony was a trigger for her because initially when Anthony was coming at her for no reason, talking about Christina, you were bosses now, you a boss now, you leave birds behind. That was triggering because Chelsea used to be emotionally and mental, physically abused allegedly from her mouth. I don't know if to say allegedly, but I know I can't say one of those words on YouTube. I already did, but whatever. Y'all get the picture. She was talking about a lot, and so Anthony re-triggered that in her, and so they then talk about Dr. Minnie Mouse inserting herself. And she said, well, that would have been the first time that she had seen them. And since that wine event that she had, they had been talking badly about her. They put flashbacks of Dr. Minnie Mouse saying Chelsea has ran her mouth throughout the blog, talking about don't support her businesses and everything. And basically her seeing Dr. Minnie Mouse and Kobe at the ring fitting or the ring to get a ring for Christina, that was the first time she had seen her. So she said, I wanted to talk to you about you saying that I ran my mouth. Tell me what I said, because I don't recall ever saying it. And she said Kobe just inserted herself in it, which she did. We're not going to act like Kobe was some innocent bystander. And that's how they were trying to move on this. And I don't like that. Kobe was not no innocent bystander. Kobe inserted herself in there because as if Dr. Minnie Mouse couldn't handle herself. And that's what she said. I said, well, she said, well, Latoya's not the most talkative person, and she was just coming at her. And it was like, it doesn't matter. You sit your ass there and you be quiet. She a grown woman. And that's when Dr. Minnie Mouse was all like, don't get it twisted. I am Dr. Latoya and I am going to be addressing such and so whatever the fuck she said. And I was just looking at her like, lady, you is Dr. Minnie Mouse. And when that man look at you, you do this. And that's all you gonna do. I don't need to hear that from you. Okay? Chelsea had a point.
Latoya's full of shit because at some point in this reunion, she said to Brandon that she felt like she was taking bullets from him because he had a problem with her husband. But mind you, Latoya has never really had a real issue with Chelsea. But her husband has disrespected Chelsea. She sat there quiet and watched that. Her husband continues to talk badly about Chelsea, refused to apologize. I'm referencing season 1. right? So your response to that, Dr. Latoya, is to then do exactly what you was crying and bitching to Brandon about doing to you and attack Chelsea. And you say it's on behalf of your husband, but you don't know what the fuck happened and weren't there. And why are you gonna attack her for having an issue with your husband when you don't want Brandon to attack you because he has an issue with your husband? She's hypocritical as hell. I can't stand her for that. I just cannot.
I just can't stand her at all. I just wish like we would ixnay on the oxnay of Dr. Minnie Mouse. Because I feel like she doesn't bring anything.
She doesn't.
She's confusing as hell.
I think
And
she's
the,
also, sorry to interrupt you. I really think she's also one of those African Americans that my daddy would personally call Uncle Tom. Black people that got problems with other black people that are not at her same level. She definitely gives that. And I think that's part of why Brandon, or not Brandon, I think that's part of why Anthony is always having to mention the things that he's done for her, the things that his family has done. They're very elitist in a negative way. And they make sure that we have to know that they support black people. But I don't trust anything out of Dr. Latoya's mouth no more. Because I think she be the one behind Anthony telling him to do the things that he does. Because she can't act like that. She has something to lose. And what Anthony got? No shade, Anthony. I'm just saying. Nobody cares about the man movement.
nobody cares about the man movement because we don't know what it is. We don't understand what it is because in the time that you've had the man movement on this TV show, you then bring Miss Detroit as one of the speakers. And then aside from that, you don't have Bravo on the panel, who has multiple businesses in the Detroit metropolitan area, if you're trying to appease children who may want to become business entrepreneurs.
Yep.
So, so to me, I kind of feel like I'm confused on what the movement is about now because, and to me, the fact that that was not addressed, Carlos, why would you not have Bravo on the panel when he owns several businesses in the Detroit metropolitan area and actually opened up one on the show? Why would you not have him on the panel? Carlos, why wasn't that question asked?
Mm.
I'm just saying.
A lot of the things that you wish to see in a reunion, we do not get now that Carlos is hosting reunions, and that's across any show that he's a part of. He
This is why.
doesn't,
Hmm.
like, Bravo will ask not one, but like several different questions from fans, from social media, things like that, that address several different perspectives that audiences may have. Carlos didn't do that not once. It's almost like we're just watching them explain themselves, kind of. Like they're not really resolving anything, nothing is being discussed. He shouldn't be hosting reunions.
Carlos, get Egypt back, please. Go ahead and pay Egypt what she needs to be paid and get her back. Because I felt like when Egypt was hosting the reunions, we got a lot of the questions answered that we needed to know and wanted to know as fans. I feel like with Carlos, we get the messy interpretation questions that he wants to know and that he feels like fans would get enjoyment out of, which we don't, because none of these people are interested. So, with that being said, with Chelsea, Anthony actually apologizes to Chelsea when she explains herself. And I felt like it was shady. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't think he was sincere. I think that he got tired of the fans hazing him about it. So he felt like he needed to. I don't
Anthony
feel
and his wife came to this fucking reunion with a goal to take down Christina, Brandon, and Chelsea. They thought that they had everybody on the stage in accord with them, but they did not expect to look a fool. And I don't think they expected for Chelsea or Christina or Brandon to keep they cool. And they all kind of kept they cool. But Anthony's apology on behalf of every person born with a vagina, you can go straight to hell and sit and spin on my fist, bitch. That's how I feel about Anthony. Because if that's what it takes for you to apologize, you a shit husband, you a shit everything. Have respect for women. Start there. If you can't have respect for women, Anthony, then have respect for anybody black, right? The way that he treats others, but specifically to come at a woman like that when you yourself are a man and had a wife there that could have handled it for you, no. And you only want to apologize after you hear about a trauma, because I guarantee if they didn't air that stuff about the trauma, he wouldn't have gave no apology, and he knew
Oh
he
yeah,
looked bad.
absolutely. And it broke my heart for Chelsea. It really did because I can understand her. So because imagine y'all sitting in an establishment by choice of your friend to be her plus one, and you're trying to support another black business, and then you have one of the owners of the business or adjacently owned because it's by his wife coming at you for no reason because of maybe you trying to get clarification. I forgot what caused him to go off on Chelsea like that, but it doesn't matter. He had no decorum either way. So it was kind of like that was crazy. And for Chelsea to accept that apology like that shows how big she is because I wouldn't have accepted it. I would just say we can agree to disagree. I don't need an apology and we can just be cordial. I don't need nothing from you. You ain't got to walk up to me. You ain't got to say nothing. You know? I just felt like that was just crazy.
I
Like to
think they're
watch.
gonna keep her on the show. I feel like that's the only reason, because you could tell she was holding back.
She absolutely was holding back, and it was weird. It was like, no, Chelsea, this was the one time where you needed to let loose.
Because Carlos, if he's smart, or if production or somebody on this show is smart, they would see that the same shit that happened to Mel is the same shit that will happen to Christina and Brandon. Not saying they'll get divorced, though. I am seeing stuff online that
No, they're
they have
divorced. She put
filed.
out a statement.
Oh yeah, so okay, so it's true.
That is true. Yeah, she put out the statement,
I
and I
feel like
knew
they're
it
gonna
was
do her
that
like
they
they
did
did
Melody.
Mel. And I hate that
Hmm.
Carlos is not catching it, because the way that everybody coordinated at this reunion to come for Christina, it wasn't just them each having individual problems like people would have with someone like Kenya or Teresa. Like, this was everybody kind of working together, chiming in on each other's points to support each other to come in one person. So it's like if he sees that happening, that's when you mix up the cast, demote some people, make them friends of, add some new people. You change the dynamic. Otherwise, you'll end up bored as hell, stuck with the Scots.
That just sent me for a whirlwind because I just realized that's what's about to happen.
That's all there is.
Damn, that is really what's about to happen, y'all. We's about to be stuck with the damn Scots.
Hmm.
Oh boy, Jesus be offense, because I'm not ready for that. I'm just not here for that. I don't like the motherfuckers. I don't know why I got to be stuck with them.
But we gonna recap it because we was saying maybe it's time for Mel to lead the show, so these motherfuckers actually have to do something. And
That I
now
feel like
she
they
has
not finna
left.
do. I feel like they not finna do that. I feel like they not finna give us shit. I feel like this is about to be a lost cause.
Hi,
Y'all.
Shani.
Hi, Shani. Hello, hello. The weekend was wonderful. I had a great time. I needed it. I am not looking forward to going to work tonight, but I'm gonna go because I gotta get paid. I gotta get make this money. Me and Mrs. Best did meet up, you guys. We have not seen each other in such a long time, so it was great to see her. Oh my gosh, I was overjoyed. Like I really was. It was so good to see my best friend. It really was because
It
especially
was
I needed
good.
to see her. I really did.
James got buff, y'all. Stop playing with him.
I've gained weight, is what I.
No, it wasn't sloppy. I gave you a hug. I said, "Oh, look at that! Look at that! There's some structure to that muscle." I
Oh
said,
God.
"Look at that."
That you is too much, girl. This girl, I've gained weight. I was just telling G, I was like, I need to do something about this double chin.
Me too. You
Like, I
see,
need, to, I need to do something about. I got to do something about this double chin because it's not work. It is not cute at all. But anyways, y'all, let me go. Let me go ahead and move on, y'all. So after we get done with our segment of Chelsea, what do we? Oh, we talk about this whole situation. So cool. I remember I wrote up on my best friend out of the blue, just ringing the bell. Child, ours was playing, but yeah, we needed to see each other. It had been too long. I needed her to meet my fiance because, and I get to meet her husband. So that was the first time we had met.
I
So
didn't realize that till after. And Josiah was like, "I finally got to meet that nigga." I was like, "Wait, what?" I didn't realize it.
that was the first time we had ever met. Like you have been married all this time, and he and I have never met. That
Oh
is so
Jesus.
crazy. Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, it was that was a blessing. It really was. That blessed me through my whole spirit. That blessed me. But anyways, y'all moving on from there. They didn't talk about, Anthony and his overzealous personality because we had moments of where he was talking about Bravo. He was talking about, Brandon and how, they be on each other's nuts or whatever he was saying. It was so weird. It was like, why are you paying attention to that with your hating ass? And Brandon makes the point that Anthony is braggadocious because there have been several scenes where, Bravo wanted Anthony's opinion on the restaurant and all. Brandon saw what Anthony's going to do is say, I used to have a spot just like this, a long time ago. So I do think that Anthony, because Carlos is Anthony's just overconfident according to Carlos, but no, Anthony is arrogant. And Anthony, it's giving new money. It's not giving he's been successful all his life. It's giving he got one good year and the year is lasting. Because this is definitely giving new money. Because anybody who has long money and is confident about this ain't gonna strut. Ain't gonna do what he does. Ain't gonna keep reminding us he got businesses in all places. Ain't gonna keep reminding us that his wife is a doctor. It's not gonna keep reminding us that he's Mr. Everything in Detroit. They just gonna sit back and say, have at it. That's what real wealth does. So no, Carlos, I don't agree with you. Now, as far as Brandon and Bravo go, they gave Anthony too much grace. They gave Anthony too much grace because I would have been ragtagging it. I would have been like,
No, I kind of feel they handled it appropriately. I think that with Brandon, he kind of got to stay cool because this family's already accused him of coming for him. They call his wife fake. So I feel like Christina and Brandon were smart to stay calm at this reunion. But Bravo, I do feel like Bravo should have said more because Brandon and Anthony have the relationship where they like it's tit for tat. Like they throw bows back and forth at each other, talk about each other's marriages, all types of stuff. This is just what they do. But with Bravo, it seems like that's something different. Like the dynamic may have changed in his relationship with Anthony compared to how it was last season or something. That's the energy I get. So I do kind of hear where Anthony's coming from with how he feels about them, but all he do is brag. All he do is brag. And then they know if they say something to him, then next season him and his wife gonna be coming for Lakita. And Lakita seemed like she not gonna keep calm if they come for her. And I feel like Bravo may know that. That's the only thing that would make
well,
sense.
I would want her to. Let's be clear.
No, she seemed crazy. She seemed like she would do some shit like take a glass, break it, and then come at them with it. Like she seemed like
I
she's
hope
just
so. Because then I will actually call you Lakita. I won't say Lakita. Because she gives me somebody old Miss Seeley. She do. So that's why I'm like, I would love if she did something. Just she ain't got to go that crazy. But she need to go a little crazy just
no,
to say
I
she
feel
did
like
that.
she would go too far. She gives that.
I don't know. She just gives me like some old Mammy Bale-ish kind of just quiet in the house.
Them the ones you got to watch out for, James. I'm trying to tell you.
No, I agree with you, but I'm just saying she don't give me that. She just gives me old maid. Like it just gives me just like not. It don't give that too much. Like that's all I'm saying.
You
Like
said old maid.
it do. That's why I call her
Why that
Lakeitha.
make
I
me
know
think
her
of
name is Lakita,
Jocelyn?
y'all. I know what her name is. But I call her Lakeitha because she reminds me of like somebody old auntie that ain't never did nothing, just be in the house all the time. She just reminds me of that. And I don't want to put that on her like that. But at the end of the day, I need her to show me something different. I do. I need her to show me something different. Show me who Lakita is. That way I ain't got to call you Lakeitha. Because I'm gonna call you Lakeitha until you do something that I feel is worth presence on the show. But overall, I just feel like the men go easy on Anthony. I do. I think it's because a lot of them are scared to really give him what they want to give him, and to me that's fair because at some point I'm not going to jump in the ring with you if all knows I'm going to get arrogance out of you. That's no, there's no
It's
point in
not
that.
worth it, but I also think they know that the brains behind Anthony is Latoya, and they don't want to deal with that.
I think now this is where I think you give Dr. Minnie Mouse too much credit. But
She became a doctor. So I never negate the brains that it takes to do that. But she also has showed that she's very vindictive. She's extremely calculated. and she likes to have other people do her dirty work. That's what I get from her. So the same way that she uses Colby, the same way she uses Kim Dobine, I think it's the same way she uses her husband,
Hmm.
so that she can always play innocent. Because especially as a black physician where they live, it's a little bit different. So I don't think she can act up the way that she will want to act up, but she gonna have somebody else do her dirty work. I'm telling you, it's gonna come out one day too if the show stay on.
I hope it do. You know what's funny, Shani? I actually liked Carlos' suit. I just don't think he wears it well. Because I actually liked it. I did. I like the yellow. I do. I just don't think it looks good on him. I think he needed to do something different.
Carlos always misses for me with clothing. I think a big problem is his haircut. I wish he would just shave it bald because his hairline is so far behind him. It's so far behind him. And that's not shade. Like he would look handsome bald. I don't like what he's doing right now with his haircut.
I am not speaking on that because I am not too far behind Carlos right now. So let me not
I
be.
just seen your hairline in person. It's not that far back. You fine.
I'm just saying, in this camera angle, it looked this far back. That's why I'm like, yeah, let me not, because I know it's not, but I'm just saying, in this camera angle, yeah, it'll look very.
Shanny said his pants come up too high when he sit down.
I am not doing this with y'all today. I just told y'all, I'm not doing this with y'all today. But anyways, y'all. Well, thank you, Shady. That makes me feel so much better. That makes me feel so much better. But anyways, y'all, that was pretty much it. They didn't really talk about. That's why I said they could have said the only key points they talked about that I wanted to talk about was Chelsea and Kobe and Christina. That's all I really want to talk about. They ain't talking about Chelsea. Is it that you want to mention Mrs. Best before we move on? Okay, she has not spoken or her mute button is broken. But you know what, y'all? That's about it. That's all that really happened. Ain't too much happened. This is it for Love and Marriage Detroit. So overall, I don't know if this show is coming back because Carlos didn't say they got renewed yet. So we're gonna see what happens with this one. I know y'all were asking me to do Love and Marriage DC. I don't want to do it, y'all, because I don't like any of them. So I don't want to put myself through all
I think you should.
that. Why do you want me to go off on people that I don't like?
Listen, it would be like if I covered Love and Hip Hop Atlanta but refused to cover Miami, if that makes sense. That's my only reason.
I don't think that's it at all. When Love and Marriage Huntsville come back, I'm definitely recapping that. But Love and Marriage Detroit or DC, I have to watch the first episode to see because I did not cover the first season. Um,
Oh no, girl, I'm not doing it.
okay,
I
here
am
I'll
here
make y'all this
because of
promise. Okay, here's
James.
the thing: if Winter actually is a part of the new season, I will recap it.
So y'all get in her DMs. Make her
Yes,
feel loved and special and shit.
right.
Offer to babysit, whatever you got to do.
Because I hear she just got engaged. So if Winter Harris is back on Love and Marriage DC, I will recap because that's the only one that I liked. Other than that, I'm not here for anybody else. Because Winter Williams was given very much Mary Cosby. She was given very much Mary Cosby in the seasons where she was very much reading everybody for filth. And I absolutely loved every part of it. So that's the only way. If Winter is back, I will recap it. If she's not back, I am not coming because I do not like any of them. I don't like Joy and Clifton from um, that one show they were on before they got there. Yes. Oh my gosh. That took me out because then she made a song about it. It was like, yes. So that's what I said. Winter is that's my girl. If she on there, I will do it. If she not, nah. Yep, that's what her song is called. That shit was funny as hell. Anyways, let me end it so we can go over to the Ratchet Wives of Atlanta and we'll see you guys there. All right. Bye bye.